button.
We need to play by play.
Did you, yeah, progress bars. Then spinny things. All right.
Be sure to hit that mute right there, or it'll make sound later.
Oh, yeah, the music board, you don't want feedback. Okay. All right, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today and call our meeting to order. This is the August meeting of WKU Staff Senate. The first item on the agenda is roll call. So I'll pull up roll. Roll call. Regent Brinkley. Present. Senator Kanzler.
Present.
Senator Collins.
Present.
Senator Daniels, because he's with us today. Senator Dorff. Yeah. Senator Gilbert.
Present.
Senator Henry.
Present.
Senator Hopwood couldn't be with us today. Senator Inglis.
Present.
And Senator Pickens. Senator Johnson.
Present.
Senator Lindsey Jones. Senator Rhonda Jones cannot be with us today. Senator Calkins.
Present.
Senator Moran.
Present.
Senator Purdy.
Present.
Senator Robertson. She couldn't be with us today. Senator Stoll.
Present.
Senator Vanderpool.
Present.
And Senator Vincent.
Present.
Senator Wright.
Present.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us. We, I believe, have very solid quorum today, so we'll get our business underway. As I click on the right document. The next item on our agenda is the approval of our agenda. So I'd ask that the unanimous consent, the Senate approve the agenda as it was distributed electronically, if there's no objections. Okay, consider our agenda approved. Next item is the approval of our prior monthly meeting minutes. Those were also distributed electronically. Anybody see the additions or corrections that we made to the minutes? If not, I'll ask that those are also accepted by unanimous consent. Without objection, those are approved. And working Senator Vincent to get started with the Christopher Ware Staff Star Awards.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. We'd like to present our first Staff Star Award. The first Staff Star Award goes to Jessica Luna. Jessica is the Communications and Events Specialist for Potter College Dean's Office. Unfortunately, her supervisor couldn't be here today, but sent some words on her behalf, so I'm going to read those. Jessica has proven to be an invaluable member of PCAL and WKU. Her selfless dedication to students, faculty, staff, and overall mission of the college is excellent. Her work ethic is of exceptionally high quality. She is detail-oriented, yet personable. Ms. Luna constantly strives to improve with each task she undertakes, and that is a trait that is invaluable as an employee. Beyond all her professional successes during her tenure at WKU, there is one element that goes beyond workplace performance. Jessica is a good person. She is a person that has a light of ray of joy that transforms any negative situation. I am thankful to serve with this great institution with her. I highly recommend Ms. Luna to be recognized as a Staff Star. Thank you, Jessica. You can come up and stand up. Yeah. Nice words. Yes.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, our next Staff Star Award will go to Cassie Sweeney. Cassie is the student, she's an senior academic advisor at ACDC. Speaking on her behalf is Marissa Bryant, the Associate Director of Academic Advising in the Advising and Career Development Center.
This is kind of the best place to stand. Okay. I am so very excited that Cassie is receiving this award today. Cassie is a vital part of our ACDC team. She's our senior advisor that works specifically with the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences. She has worked with ACDC for so many years. So it's been a pleasure working with her for many of those years. And she has positively impacted so many students throughout this time. She is very student focused and always takes the time to listen to every student's need and their situation. She wants to know what opportunities they want to get involved with and helps them get connected with those opportunities. She also wants to know if they're struggling and helps them to get connected with resources. There's so many times that I've seen her be an advocate for students and call all across campus trying to reach somebody to help this student through whatever the barrier or situation that they're dealing with is. I know that the students that she talks with, she has built trust with and has really taken the time to get to know them, and that comes across in all of her interactions with them. Sorry, I went off script, so I just got excited talking about Kathy. She always provides them accurate information as well. She stressed to stay up to date on all of that information for all of the majors that she advises and all of the university policies, and tries to make sure that she's explaining all those to students in a way that they can understand. She also helps empower students to set their own goals. I know she reaches out to a lot of the at-risk students and helps them to talk through how they can do better the next semester, helps them to set those goals, and then she encourages them along the way as they meet those goals. So Kathy works a lot with the planning initiatives in our office as well. She's so creative and brings so many great ideas to our planning sessions and conversations. And she, of course, follows through on anything that she says that she will do. Her coworkers know that they can depend on her. She's encouraging to all of our new advisors and is a great mentor to them. She's always willing to volunteer for things when we have recruitment events or other things in our office that we need someone to help students or talk with new students and get them excited about WKU. We are so very fortunate to have her as part of our ACDC team, and WKU is fortunate to have her as part of the WKU team.
Our final Christopher Ware Star Award goes to Melanie Redden. Melanie is the office coordinator for the Gatton Academy of Math and Science. This is from her nominator. Melanie's contributions to our office cannot be overstated. She regularly goes far beyond her job description to ensure that things are running smoothly here at Gatton. Just in the past month, we have hosted both the governor and the U.S. Congressman Guthrie in our building. And not only did she assist with the coordinating of all the details that go along with the high-profile visits, but she even directed parking in the parking lot as media, security, and their advanced teams were arriving. When someone needed to review musical auditions, she volunteered. When the students have presentations, she attends. She writes recommendation letters, coordinates staff appreciation events, and chaperones study abroad trips. We could not function as well as we do without her, and every staff member in our building would tell you in the same thing. Gatton is a better place for our students because of Melanie's contribution. And Melanie has brought that same energy and enthusiasm to every office at WKU that she has worked in the past 10 years. Also sharing a few words on behalf of Melanie is Dr. Lynette Breedlove, Director of the Gatton Academy of Math and Science.
We really appreciate your recognizing Melanie in this way because she really is a star on our staff. Gatton's motto is infinite possibilities, and Melanie makes that happen. She makes that happen for our staff, and she makes it happen for our students. We've never had an office coordinator who was so involved and so supportive of everyone in the building. So when staff needs some help or they are thinking about something they need help with, Melanie's the first person anyone goes to, and Melanie always finds a solution. Those words were exactly right. She helps with the parking. She helps with any purchase we need. Any problem. She is our orchestra director so that our students can participate in things. Whatever it is, Melanie says yes and finds a way, and it empowers all of us to be better for our students. So we really appreciate that Melanie is a part of our team, because she makes all of us have a better day. Right? You have a problem, Melanie will solve it.
Good job.
Thank you all once again.
Next item is officer report. We'll begin with Staff Regent Brickley.
Thank you. A lengthy report. I'm going to try to get through it as quickly as possible. The regents will have multiple activities this week. First, there's an annual day-long retreat, happens every August. That will be tomorrow. The proposed agenda will be in the minutes. I'm gonna provide you this whole thing so you don't have to write it all down. There are multiple presentations during that event by Tuesday Helbig, Daniel Super, Bruce Wiseman, the internal auditor, Philip Bale. The past chair is going to make a presentation on book. Tanya Basta, Dean of College of Health and Human Services, is going to present their strategic plan. There's going to be a self-assessment wrap-up and comments by the president. And then we will be given a tour of the Center for Energy Systems in that building, College High Hall. Is that what it's called? I don't go in that building, but I think that's the building. So that's our wrap-up tour for the retreat. The quarterly meeting on Friday, and that'll be a regular quarterly meeting, not a committee meeting. There will be several items for final approval. The new chair is Curry Milliken. He's a local attorney, and he will also administer the oath of office to the new appointed regent, Cynthia Nichols, and the new elected SGA regent, Sam Kurtz. There are several action items and information items on this agenda. On the academic affairs side, there's multiple approvals of undergraduate certificates and program suspensions. I would encourage you all to go through and read that list. It's available through the board site online. If you have any concerns, I want to stress I'm taking comments right up until I walk in the board meeting here on Friday. 2 of the 7 action items in that grouping were not presented on the June 2nd committee meetings. There will be an information item from Catherine Leonard, faculty member. And then on finance and budget, there's kind of a regular cadence of how that works. There's several personnel actions that happens just about every meeting. And some of that has to do with new staff, people leaving, one-time payments. When somebody has a travel voucher approved, there are just any odd payments have to go through that process. And that happens just about every meeting we have. There will be an internal audit work plan that we will approve. Bruce Wiseman, the new internal auditor, has been outstanding to work with, and we look forward to having him have great progress here. 2 items of note: there will be approval. They're seeking approval of a new banking services contract where the university will unify its banking services under one umbrella. There were an RFP was sent out, several responses, and then a committee selected what they feel is the most appropriate vendor for the services. I've had a meeting with Susan, who was on this meeting, about this, and I completely agree with the assessment, and we'll have no issues accepting that, barring any catastrophic change between now and Friday morning. I don't anticipate there will be. There are a couple of things that I really like about the new contract, and I'm happy to discuss those with you all offline if you have any questions. Second item is an approval, the fourth item, sorry, under finance and budget is approval of the transit management agreement addendum. This one, and the board has also had meetings related to this item. There have been a few questions related to this. And I have a couple of notes I just want to make on that. The transit management agreement that we were potentially entering into with the city of Bowling Green was approved by the city of Bowling Green on May the 2nd. Notice for review for this was given to the entire board on August 3rd. I'm still reviewing the contracts and their implications, such as dissolution of staff positions. And we'll be happy to discuss any concerns up until the meeting on Friday. I'm accepting information and feedback on both of these items. That would be the bank contract and the transit agreement contract, if anybody wants to research them and provide me questions. And on a side note related to finance and budget, on the June 2nd committee meeting, there were comments made about how market equity adjustments have been rolling out across campus and not adversely affecting the budgets of those areas. There is interest in how to facilitate those if any of your areas have not been involved. So that is a topic of discussion as well. There will be an information item on student affairs only. There are no action items on the Student Affairs Committee. By the way, I have been appointed to Student Affairs and Finance and Budget for my final year as Regent. That's good because the faculty regent will be on Academic Affairs and Finance and Budget, and that's a good mix. So the elected staff and faculty regents will be on every committee that we're eligible for. No elected regent, I just want to remind you all consistently on this, is eligible for executive committee by statute. That's a statutory limitation. The executive committee is made up of the selected chair, vice chair, and then chairs of each other committee. But elected regents are not eligible for those positions. Moving on to the executive committee, there are 7 action items. Most of those are approvals to addendums of athletic employment contracts. This happens every now and then where there's a group of athletic contracts. You know, we see these and we say, how come we don't do this on every other employee? There are certain contract provisions based on how they're administered that need approval by the board. You know, for instance, if I was under an employment contract instead of just a salary, my approval would have to go through the board as well. So that's a feature of the type of employment and how the contract renews. This happens in groupings sometimes. Sometimes there's addendums based on modifications to the program, modifications of conference agreements. This is not an uncommon thing. The last action item in executive, though, is one that I am involved with and will not be able to vote on. It is an approval of a code of editorial integrity for public media. We are introducing that as an action item for the board. The president, the last 2 presidents, by the way, have approved this code, both President Ransdell and President Caboni. We feel like it's appropriate for the entire board to ratify this as policy. And I say this because of actions that have taken place near us, but not because of us. There have been incidents at West Virginia Public Broadcasting, in Oklahoma, tied to KET and tied to Murray State University, that I think potentially this is a good way for WKU to show leadership in this area. We have a school of media and we talk about First Amendment, and ratifying this as formal policy is a good way to move that forward. I won't be able to vote on this motion, so I'll have to abstain. But on the other business and announcements, a reminder to everybody that the 14th, that's Monday, is convocation. It sneaks up on us every year. There's a softball and soccer ribbon cutting on September 13th. I'm kind of excited about that one because that's a facility that's been needed for a long time. And our next board committee meetings will be October 20th. And if you have happened to have forgotten, homecoming is November the 11th this year. It's late this year. Final note related to staff senate, I will be distributing the staff survey with comments to the Board of Regents tomorrow during the retreat. The board respects this survey, and it's one of the ones that I completely, repeatedly am told that they actually read all of. I've pre-read it. I think it's appropriate to show the board. I think it shows progress and it shows concerns, and it's done in a respectful fashion. It is viewed much differently than other surveys sometimes they receive. So I, again, appreciate the staff and the staff senate for continuing this survey because it's done and presented in a very respectful manner with regard to how the board takes it. That's it. I'll take any questions. You can always email me later if you want to do it anonymously, wkustaffregent@gmail.com, or you can text or call me however you need to.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry for the lengthy.
No, I appreciate the detail. Parliamentarian, Senator Collins.
Parliamentarian committee, constitution bylaws, drafting edits, all senators that would like to review that, just contact me about it on the committee, or additionally, if you have any edits or any like change.
Thank you. Communications, Senator Vincent.
The only announcement I have is from the benefits committee. The open enrollment will be October 16th through October 27th. HR will be sending out information, so make sure you watch your emails for any additional information about the benefits committee and benefits open enrollment.
Thank you. Senator Henry, Treasurer.
Treasurer report, our ENG index, starting balance, $3,668. No additions, no disbursements. Ending balance, $3,668. The Staff Senate Excellence Fund had a starting balance of $1,880.32 with additions of $18.35. No additions, ending balance $1,906.67. Our Book Scholarship Fund, starting balance $1,619.84, additions of $10, no disbursements, ending balance $1,629.84. And that is my report.
Thank you. Technology, Senator Gilbert.
No report at this time.
Thank you. And Secretary, Senator Moran.
No report of this.
Thank you. And Vice Chair, Senator Stoll.
No report.
Thank you very much. For my report, as David mentioned, the last Senate conducted the staff engagement survey and completed that and came back in over the summer. That was distributed to this Senate after our last monthly meeting. I have sent the web version to Senator Gilbert to be posted on our website. Very brief overview is that the result of this survey indicated overall employees moderately agree that they're satisfied working at WKU. This is a survey where we rank 1 through 5. So moderately agree is the worded version of ranking from 3.5 to 4 as an average. Across the board categories, employees rated the highest in terms of satisfaction was campus safety and environmental health. Figures list out that and break down the responses that we received. The top 5 rated categories as individual questions were: winter break is important for me, summer hours are beneficial to me and my work-life balance, that I feel safe on campus during the daytime, vacation leave is fairly approved in my area, and I'm treated fairly by my supervisor. The complete list of responses and the categories and the layout with a lot of really pretty bar charts are going to be available. I think by tomorrow would be a fair estimation, as soon as we can get it up, but at least by tomorrow. I'd also like to extend a thanks to Dr. Katrina Birch and the Industrial Organizational Psychology Graduate Program for their help and the students that use this as part of their coursework to conduct the survey for us. This would be a really, it is a big lift. It's a really big survey. As Brian mentioned in a previous meeting, this was the highest level of response, nearly 600 responses. That's a really good return of input from folks. So thank them again for their help. And that will be available in the WKU Staff Senate webpage tomorrow. Other than that, the executive committee met as our first meeting of the FY. We just had some short conversation, just general conversation, no action out of that meeting. No other external meetings conducted for the chair this last month. That concludes my report for the month. Is there any old business that needs to be brought up to the Senate? Any new business? I know a topic of our schedule had come up that Senator Gilbert had discussed.
Just to start the topic and maybe some discussion about it. We typically met on the first Wednesday of every month. And that sort of presents a little bit of a problem when we have to move a handful of dates throughout the year. We're meeting on the second Wednesday of this month. And in looking at the full calendar, if we were to move the meetings to the second Wednesday of every month, I don't know that we would have to modify any throughout the year. So as long as there's, not any conflicts that I'm unaware of or anyone's unaware of, it might be worth giving some consideration. So if anyone had any further input on that.
I think currently the bylaws, I believe, dictate or the language suggests that we should only meet on the first. So that would be an item to go to the parliamentary committee for an adjustment to give us the flexibility to schedule. What it says is basically that we should meet on the first Wednesday whenever possible. So this FY, I think 5 or 6 of half of the year, we adjusted for either guest schedule or spring break, 4th of July, things like that. So it may make sense to not have to adjust the schedule to make our regular. I think it's a really strong point, and I think it would simplify things for everybody. But it's something that I don't think we can do until we can adjust. But I think that's something that definitely should be considered by the parliamentary committee. Okay, thank you. Any other new business? The Senate, speaking of our bylaws, we reserve time for 2 things. One is the staff region report, the other is public comment. If there's any members of the public that would like to be recognized. Seeing none, wanted to extend a thanks to Campus Community Events for helping us schedule this room this month. DSU is a great host to us. They're being a really, really great host to student events as the Hill's coming back to life with students today. So that the staff Senate chamber, the Senate chambers were unavailable for us today. We got booked in the Regents room. Also, thanks to the Regents for loaning us their room. But our next meeting will be back, and for the rest of the year, we should be back in the Senate chambers in DSU on the 2nd floor. I think it's 2081. And our next meeting is slotted for September 6th. Will be at 10 a.m. Hope to see everybody there. Don't end Zoom yet. All right. So I learned last meeting we should actually ask for a motion to adjourn, but I believe we have concluded our business for the day. So if there might be entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Privilege that's not available. Okay. We'll ask unanimous consent. If there's no one in opposition. Okay. This means adjourned. No, hold on. Thank you to the guys.